Well, we were having a tidy up in our new garden and we come across this little set of terracotta pots. I don't know if they match. This one's actually stuck in there, so I don't know how I'm going to get that out without breaking it. Oh, there we go. That one's got a little slug in it. And this one's got some old leaves and bits and pieces in it. No, they're not a set, but it doesn't matter. We're going to turn them into the set. What I'm going to do is give them a quick clean out, and then I'm going to paint them so they look really good fun. First thing I'm going to do is just take a brush like this and get rid of all this detritus that's in there. I don't want any of that in there. And it's really important if you're going to paint your terracotta pots that you get them nice and clean if they're old ones. And that they're fully dry as well. So that one's different to these two, but they're going to look the same once they're painted. Yeah, there's no cracks in them or anything. And to give them a good clean, all I'm going to do is pop them in here. I don't want them to soak in here for too long because I don't want them to absorb all the water, and give them a good scrub around. So this will help even when we come to plant them because they'll be nice and clean. There won't be any odd bacteria and things in there. I'm just using normal soapy water for this and it'll clean them up lovely. And a nail brush. I don't use this for my nails. This is my crafting nail brush. And then to get into the bottom of this part, I'm just going to use a good old washing up brush. And again, this is just one that I use from crafting. I don't use it ever in the kitchen. And then that one's come up lovely and clean. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. So now they're fully cleaned, what I want to do is dry them off. If you haven't got one of these drying boxes or curing boxes, then pop them somewhere warm or leave them overnight to dry out completely, because you want to make sure they're fully dry all the way through before you paint them, because if not, your paint can peel off. All I do is pop them in here. I mean, I suppose you could put them in an oven under a very low heat, but that would be at your own risk. I've not tried that method. So I'm just going to turn this on now. I'll leave them in there for about an hour, and that should have dried them really well. I use this all the time, as you know. I use it in both my craft rooms. I use it for drying and curing so many different things. I love it. Love it. Saves me so much time. Well, these should be dry now. They've had about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. Oh yeah, they're lovely and dry because they're nice and warm. Put that to one side, and then when I come to dry the varnish and everything else on them, then I can pop them back in there. And before I do anything else to them, what I'm going to do is give them a little bit of a rub down. And this is a fine grit sandpaper. I'm just going to rub them down to get a nice smooth surface and get off any bits there are on there that I don't want to have on there. It just, I feel, gives a nicer, smoother finish to the paint. Now, there's different trains of thought about whether you should seal your terracotta pot or not before you paint it. Now, I do seal mine, and the reason is I've always done it this way, and it works really well for me. But some people don't seal it, or people seal it using different things. All I seal it with is a matte varnish, an acrylic varnish, and I water it down a little bit. So I've probably got a 25 to 75 mix. So the 75 being the actual varnish itself. And all I use is a little bit of water. Give that a stir in. And you will find, because terracotta is really porous, that this will soak into your pots really quickly. And I generally give it 2 coats of this, going all the way round. Now I'm not painting the bottom, so I'm not going to bother to seal the bottom. And I'm not painting inside, so I'm not bothering to seal inside either. And it goes on really easily. Because I'm using a matte varnish, it won't dry shiny, and I don't want it to dry shiny at this stage. And then I can pop that back in my dryer or somewhere warm to dry off, ready to have the second coat of sealer. Now these are dry, what I can do is paint them. I've got a wet sponge. What I'm going to do is sponge on my base colour. And all I'm using is a little bit of medium colour blue, some white, and a little bit of darker blue. And then I'm going to go around it like this and just sponge that on the pots all over and leave that to dry. It's ever so easy, and it will stay on there lovely now you've sealed it. Well, now these are all dry, what I'm going to do is go around and paint my flowers on. So I'm just going to put a centre in here, like that. Dotting some yellow in, and a tiny bit of black. Give it a bit of a contrast, and then a bit of yellow over that black, and there's me centre. Now I'm not going to be doing any real stylised flowers or anything. All I've got is I've got my red paint and I've got my white paint here. I'm going to put this round brush into my red paint, take a bit of the white paint as well, and then paint my flowers on like this by squeezing the end there, coming down and then lifting up. And I'll do different thicknesses as well, going around, and I'll go all the way around till I'm happy that there's enough petals on there. And I'll keep moving the pot around so it's in the angle that I can hold it on. And these are the simplest flowers to draw, or paint I should say. Squeeze down, and as you're pulling towards the centre, you just lift up your brush. There we go, so we got them, and then I'll do another one there and one on each side until I've got 4 on the pot, and then I'll do the other pots exactly the same. Well, here's a great bit of information for you that Resin Crete have just told me about, that the flower mould with the whole kit and the angel kit, which come with Resin Crete and everything that you need, great presents for someone, instead of being $25.99 are reduced to $13.99. But it is only while stocks last, and I know they are going quickly because my members group have already had this link, because they always get special offers first before everybody else. So the discount code is in the description below, along with the link to follow to get these at these brilliant knockdown prices. Get them now, put them by for Christmas, or use them yourself and have some fun. Great value, amazing value. I'm going to order some. Well, these are all lovely and dry now, and they're ready to have their final varnish. I think the flowers have come out really pretty, and they're so easy to paint. All I'm going to use now is a gloss varnish, and that is really just to protect the paint and to give it a lovely shine as well. And I always find that once you put the glass on it, once you put the gloss varnish on it, it gives the whole thing a lovely lift. Not only that, it will protect that paint as well. I'll go round, I'll give it one coat, I'll let that dry for a few hours, and then I'll give it a second coat. Now remember, whenever you paint terracotta pots, terracotta is a very porous material, and it's done like that for lots of plants so they can keep moisture in or let moisture out if it needs to through that terracotta. So make sure when you plant these up, you're planting things up that don't mind being in pots that aren't breathable, because this is no longer going to be a breathable pot from the outside. Once they're completely finished, I'll show you what they look like. Well, that's them all finished now, and I think they've come out really well. I'm going to make another set if I can find some more terracotta pots, and this time I'm going to do a yellow background. But the flowers have come out really well, and I think with plants in, they're going to look great. Such an easy upcycle and brighten the place up, and we all need brightness in our lives. Boom the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the video that I've got coming up next. It's another great upcycle, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.